Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The state of play on Dalal Street continues to be extremely painful. The Nifty right there in front of you has recovered a bit, but just a bit from early morning lows. What we have in front of you is a 583 point downtick. Remember, early morning the Nifty had hit a low of 23,700, and from there on a bit of short covering is what we see at this point of time at 23,871. All major indices, whether it's Bank Nifty, whether it's Sensex, small cap, mid cap, all indices are in pain. There is just a bit of a green on some pharma stocks, some IT stocks as defensive plays, and some sugar companies because of the output in India, which is likely to come down as far as sugar is concerned. Be that as it may, the main problem in the market is rising crude oil prices and rising prices of natural gas globally as also in India. To discuss the aftermath of a 22-23% rise in crude oil prices today morning and them hitting a 4.5 year high is Miss Vandana Bharti, the head of Commodities at SMC Trade. She's a very well-known analyst for all commodities, in particular precious metals and crude. Namaste Vandana ji, a very warm welcome to you. How do you see this $120 a barrel crude price that we saw early morning on energy markets? Is this sustainable?
It was not a surprise move because option positioning was indicating this kind of level in the crude oil prices when we track the NYMEX option chain. But yes, I can't say that this much higher level is sustainable in this market because it is all fueled by war tension, and to 2nd March onwards, we have seen the reflections in the prices, and from $70 we have seen the journey of $120 in 5 or 6 trading session. So the time we will get some kind of positive news from peace talk and all, we can see a decline of $20-30 very sharply in the crude oil prices. Even in today trading session, we can witness the fall of around $10 to $12 when the G7 countries, they have asked to considering to release a strategic reserve of 400 million barrel per day according to them. So it gave a sigh of relief to the market, and we have seen a sharp decline in the prices of crude oil. So this is not all about the supply, the availability side. This is about the supply disruption. The moment we get some kind of relief from supply disruptions, the prices will go down. But till now, we are not getting any signal of the de-escalation, and because of that, prices are expected to move up towards the level of $130. This is what option chain is indicating.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, this is the lovely graph that is there in front of you, and this is what I wanted you to notice. One more thing I'd like to add is that the early morning high on crude oil prices has been sold into for 2 reasons. Smart investors are booking profits. Look at this. The early morning high on NYMEX crude was $119.48 a barrel. That's roughly 120. At the moment, it's trading at about 102, 103. So that's a pretty sharp profit booking, and this is after crude oil prices had actually gapped up. So Friday's close was $90.9 a barrel, and the open was 98. So that's almost an 11 percentage point gap up, and after that they had gone up by another 20%. That's because of supply disruptions in Hormuz Strait, and more importantly, Indian crude oil imports are about 85 to 88% of our annual needs. For us, that's a hit of about $15 billion per $10 rise in crude oil prices. So what now, Vandana ji? Should investors get into crude oil after this correction has happened, or do you see supply coming into the markets and therefore this spike now being the peak?
This time they should like adopt wait and watch strategy, because Trump is really, he is very uncertain. Now he is saying that the prices will move up. After that, it will see a sudden downfall. So it's a very alarming situations, and it is investors, they can trap like silver here. So yes, it is
Yes.
known for a very sharp high and sharp lows like silver. So this time they should wait and watch. And two three things are I'm expecting unexpected thing, it can happen in the market. US can soften its stand towards Russia, some soft stand for Russian crude oil ban or something like that, if prices go up to the level of 130 to $135, because he is getting pressure from everybody, from East to all, like from Middle East and all. And second thing is that there should be some kind of consensus on this Strait of Hormuz supply disruption. So these two things can really pressurize the prices, and if it happens, it can crude oil can move towards the level of 90 to $100 immediately. But yes, this time it will settle higher towards the level of 70 $75, and we are not expecting a level of 58 and 60 kind of level in crude oil, because some permanent damage, it has happened, and it will take weeks or months to get over.
So, what basically you're trying to say is that crude oil will slip from now on because supplies will come in, but the earlier lows or the earlier trading range will no longer exist. The one that was there between say 58 to $65 or 55 to $60 is a thing of the past. A new normal is above 70 or between 70 and 75. So that's taken. Now let's look at another commodity which is about to rear its head, and that's natural gas. We have seen the Qatari LNG plant being hit and supplies disrupted globally. European gas prices have gone up by 50%, but not Indian gas prices. Now, Vandana ji, what is your prognosis for natural gas?
Yeah, first we will consider the different aspects of crude oil prices reactions in different continents. Because if crude oil, natural gas, for crude oil, it is everywhere. If WTI is rising from $70 to $120, it is everywhere. Globally, it is happening. But if we consider the natural gas prices, it is different in European area, it is different in Asian countries. So yes, this time, always European countries, they have a hard hit for natural gas prices. But yes, we have supplies this time, and now the prices, it will move not substantially up, but we can expect a rise of around 10-15% in natural gas prices. And even in Indian market, we are expecting that prices should move up towards the level of 360 to 380, even if the war only extend towards the next week. So if it extend towards for 1 month or 2 months, we can see a level of 400 to 450 kind of level of rise in natural gas prices. But yes, if we get some kind of peace talk within 2 or 3 weeks, then the upside should be limited up to towards the level of 380 to 400.
Okay. At the moment, natural gas is trading at 311 rupees per mmBtu. That's the measure in which natural gas is sold or bought, and it's up 5.41% today. On Friday, it was up 8%. So already the commodity has rallied somewhere like 14-15%. Now, Vandana ji, for natural gas in January, we had seen a high of about 625 rupees per MMBTU. This is again a very, very volatile commodity. What do you think was the reason behind that rally that happened from say 19th January to 28, and the price more than doubled?
Yeah, it was a time when we have seen some kind of disruptions, and some damages happened that time, and because of that we have seen this kind of movement, and some positional trade in financial market, it also impact the prices. But soon we have seen a kind of backwardation of around 200 to 250 points in the next month. So the wide gap is still there in the prices, and this time the wide gap can fulfill to some extent of around say 50 to 60%.
Okay, fair point. So we've discussed crude oil, which you feel has peaked out. It will correct because all sensible countries who have a lot of crude oil in their countries will release so as to bring those prices down. But now we are in this zone of 70 to 75, which should come fairly soon. Okay. Natural gas is headed higher. Let's now look at two commodities which rallied in the earlier part of 2026 and of course in 2025. I'm talking about gold and silver. Is the best behind them?
No, sir. We can see a higher price in 2026 because, every commodity, they have their own reason for upside. Natural gas, I just forget to mention that it was harsh winter, and because of that supply disruptions and whatever supply they had, the pipeline just froze. So even whatever natural gas they had, they couldn't use it, and because of that, prices move up. And this time, gold and silver, the fundamentals are same, but yes, technical is not working here, and it is the margin calls which is suppressing the prices. And if we refer the historical data, many times it happens that when the crude oil explodes, like gold and silver prices, it crashed because of the margin calls, and after a few trading sessions, like 20-30 trading sessions, the natural rally of gold and silver, they started, and in a bigger and a stronger way. So the kind of world it is, the war is happening and inflation is rising, it is not going to give a very good numbers, economic numbers to US, and gradually even US economy can slip into recession in this way, and the entire economy is still feeling the heat of this war when it is only 10 days old. So yes, we can expect a higher inflation in global inflation, and in that scenario gold is going to outperform in the second half of 2026. So the best is yet to come in 2026 after this Iran and US war.
Fair point.
The scenario has changed.
So, Vandana ji, let's make a list. Commodities that you would like to buy at present levels and commodities that you may want to book profit on. So, crude oil you want to book profit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Natural gas you will buy?
I'll buy.
Okay. How about silver? How about gold?
Gold for safe haven buying. So the ratio and for gold and silver should be of 60-40. 60 for gold, 40 for silver, because economic uncertainty is there. So 40% for silver, and silver is again going to give a very good return in 2026 because this time prices is moving down. They are suppressing the prices. Despite that, prices is holding above $78. So till the time it is hanging above $78, it is in upper zone, and this is a good buying time, whether it is for ETF, for physical. I'm avoiding derivatives this time, but some few agri commodities I would like to point out. This is maize, oil seeds, and fertilizers stocks. Of course, they can go up.
Okay. You think we'll have a rally in agri commodities as well? Maize?
Yeah, so it started with gold, silver, then base metals, they joined the rally. Again, crude oil was lagging, now it is exploding, so crude energy counter, it has joined the rally. And in this super cycle, only agri commodities is lagging. So in every super cycle, mostly agri commodities, they reacted in the last. So this time, now it is the time for agri commodities. Even sugar prices, maize prices, they are rising.
Okay. So what's your choice, sugar or maize?
This time this is maize.
Okay.
Even I can go for sugar because now ethanol prices will rise. So they are somehow connected.
Yes, of course. तो वंदना जी क्या कीजिएगा, सोना और चांदी आपने बिल्कुल हाथ से बाहर निकलवा दिया, अब कैसे ख़रीदारी होगी शादियों के लिए पता नहीं, अब तेल आपने बेकाबू कर दिया, अब कैसे घूमने जाएंगे, अब खाने पीने की बात थी वो भी आप हाथ से छीनना चाह रही हैं, कहाँ मक्का और कहाँ चीनी, तो इंसान करेगा क्या?
मुझे लग रहा है यहाँ पे शालिन जी की कुछ चीजें ऐसी हैं जो अगर ये वॉर खत्म होता है, ये खत्म होना चाहिए। यहाँ ह्यूमन लॉस है, इकोनॉमी लॉस है, सब चीजें हैं, और ये जल्दी से खत्म होना चाहिए। नहीं तो इसका जो इम्पैक्ट है, हमने यूक्रेन रशिया में देखा था, प्राइसेस फ्रॉम $70 इट वेंट अप टू $120, और थोड़ा सा टाइम लगा था उसको $60 आने में, इट टुक मंथ्स। तो मुझे लग रहा है कि जब तक ये मतलब आएगा, तब तक यहाँ पे हमारा जो हिट है वो इन्फ्लेशन और इकोनॉमी पे होता हुआ दिख जाएगा अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड। यहाँ पे अगर हम यूएस को थोड़ा सा मतलब छोड़ दें, यहाँ पे स्टॉक्स मार्केट गिर रही हैं, पैसे मतलब बाहर जा रहे हैं। मुझे लग रहा है कि वॉर अगर गिरे मतलब खत्म होता है, तो सबसे पहले अपना जो कंट्रोल आएगा वो क्रूड ऑयल पे आएगा, और ये एग्री से लेके जितनी भी कमोडिटीज हैं, सबको यहाँ पे एक सबसे बड़ा रिलीफ अभी क्रूड ऑयल ही दे सकता है। और फिर से जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एक्टिविटीज है वो यहाँ पे स्ट्रांग हो सकती है, क्योंकि चाइना जैसी कंट्री में जो सबसे बड़ा उनका मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब है, वो भी यहाँ पे शट डाउन हो रहा है, बिकॉज दे आर नॉट हैविंग क्रूड ऑयल। सो अगला
जी
क्वार्टर होगा, ये अगले क्वार्टर का नंबर सर ये बहुत बुरा होने वाला है, और दैट टाइम गोल्ड विल परफॉर्म।
चलिए, on that, I don't know, very somber note or painful note or hopeful note, Vandana ji, we'll call it day. It's always a pleasure to speak to you and to understand how the super commodity cycle is working. Thank you for your time, and here's wishing you all the best on all your trades, to you and to your clients as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Vandana Bharti, head of commodities trading at SMC Global. So according to her, the peak that was supposed to hit on crude oil prices is done with. Supply will come in as countries such as Japan, EU and the US release crude oil from their strategic reserves to calm down prices and to prevent a total global collapse as far as the economy is concerned. Gold and silver may be the trades for the coming months. Natural gas immediately on the long side, and of course a little later maize and sugar. That's how this commodity super cycle is moving. Within commodities which are precious metals, liquid energy, as also agri commodities. However, should you wish to take a position in all these on the long or the short side, please consult your financial advisor, and only then step into these commodities on either side of the trade. Thank you for watching. Stay glued on Business Today Television. News is the best here.
Markets move today to what's setting the stage for tomorrow. From tariffs to taxes, mutual funds to your daily stock queries. Join me as I decode the biggest wealth